Who is the most powerful in the Teen Wolf universe? This question comes up a lot in the Teen Wolf Wiki discussions on the app. For the purposes of this video, I'm just looking at the relative power levels of the characters on the show and not at the full species or group that they represent. I'm judging them based on four main criteria. Durability, or how hard they are to kill. That means a healing factor would rank you high on durability, but if you're primarily a spirit form, like a Hellhound or a Gitsune, you'd rank even higher because spirits in this universe apparently can't be completely destroyed. The second attribute is intelligence, because obviously intelligence overcomes brute strength on Teen Wolf. So if you're highly intelligent and think before you act, you are automatically more powerful in the end. Then comes how strong a character is physically. While this can be important in hand-to-hand combat, it doesn't actually help you win the big fights on this show. Then finally, I consider abilities, those things that one character can do that are beyond the abilities of other characters. Lydia's Scream and Jennifer Blake's telekinesis are examples of the kind of abilities I'm talking about. Now that the ground rules are set, I can share my list of the most powerful individual characters in the Teen Wolf universe. But first, if you're enjoying our trips back to Beacon Hills, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to be alerted to new content. Also, like this video and share your thoughts in the comments, since that feeds the algorithm and means more people will see the video. Now on with the top 10 most powerful in Teen Wolf. And since I'm a dessert first kind of guy, I'm going to start at the very top of the list. The most powerful individual character in the Teen Wolf universe is Void Stiles. You don't get to be 1,000 years old without ranking high on both durability and intelligence. With the ability to possess people and control even those he doesn't fully possess, cast vast illusions and hallucinations, as well as his seeming immortality, Void Stiles is undoubtedly the most powerful individual to appear on screen. Had he not been so overconfident, he might have defeated Scott's pack. In the end, though, his single-minded pursuit of chaos and his belief that his enemies weren't actually a threat left him vulnerable to Scott's well-laid trap. Next up is our resident Banshee. While Lydia ranks as average in durability and strength, she more than makes up for it with intelligence and superhuman abilities. Lydia was already a genius before her Banshee abilities allowed her to glimpse the future. As she learned to harness those skills, her scream rose to an earth-shattering level, allowing her to punch way harder than any other character. Being animated by a spirit form Hellhound means the third most powerful on my list is Jordan Parrish. The Hellhound that brought him back after an explosion on the battlefield grants him unprecedented durability and strength. His ability to control fire makes him a formidable opponent. The only reason he's not higher on this list is that his slavish dedication to his prime directive of protecting the secret of the supernatural, as well as his vulnerability to anything having to do with the Wild Hunt and Ghost Riders, means he's easily manipulated, and that has cost the heroes on more than one occasion. Number 4 is Jennifer Blake. She was already a highly intelligent person, but overall she was a pretty weak human being. Then she developed her ability to harness and use supernatural forces, and that made her a formidable foe. Hers was one of the most impressive power levels seen on the show, but she was so blinded and obsessed with revenge that it led to her eventual demise. Kira ranks kinda low for a Kitsune at number 5 because, well, she didn't really know what she was doing most of the time. What do you expect, though? I mean, she barely found out she was a Kitsune before being tossed into battle with all sorts of supernatural threats. Her strength level was always below average, and she didn't seem to have a mind for strategy. Her fighting skills with the sword were above average, but her ranking here in the middle is almost completely based on her ability to create and manipulate electricity and lightning. That level of power was unmatched by anyone else in the show. If she'd actually known how to use her abilities, she would have ranked much higher. Number 6 is everyone's type. Jackson, as a full Kanama, was dumb brute strength. He was almost impossible to kill, but with no willpower of his own, he was more a weapon than a character. However, after his full transformation was complete, with all the abilities of both Werewolf and Kenema, and all the raw confidence that only Jackson can muster, he is one of the strongest and most durable characters in the Teen Wolf universe. I admit it's a little weird that the werewolves on the Werewolf Show will rank lower than the other creatures, but while their natural healing factor and other enhanced senses make them far more powerful than the average human, in this universe the werewolves are near the bottom in terms of powers and abilities. While his stats are very similar to the full werewolves, Theo ranks at number 7 because as a chimera he's not vulnerable to mountain ash and the rest of the rules that trip up the other werefolk. He's also been through literal hell and learned lessons that make him mentally stronger than the rest. Malia lands at number 8 for a couple of reasons. First, as a woman, her pain threshold is higher than her male counterparts. And second, her time fully transformed gave her highly developed animal instincts that the other werewolves cannot match. I'll throw in Deucalion here at number 9, even though his power levels have shifted significantly during his time on the show. In Season 3, he was very strong, but too obsessed with creating a perfect pack to intelligently use his strength. Then, as the final living member of the Alpha Pack, he lost some of the strength of the group, but retained his status, and apparently learned important lessons from the experience. The very bottom of the list is a tie. If I had to choose, Derek ranks slightly above last place because as a born werewolf, he's had a lifetime to understand his nature. While it didn't often show in his skills, Derek is more experienced than Scott. And yeah, it's a little controversial to rank the central character of the show as the least powerful, but I think they wrote Scott that way on purpose. He was average in almost every way and still managed to take out the more powerful threats by being clever and inspiring loyalty in those around him. I kind of feel like I need to justify this ranking more for some reason. Look at the facts. Kira, at number 5 on this list, almost killed Scott with electricity in Eichenhaus, and she wasn't even trying. Void Stiles ran circles around him mentally, and then Theo fooled him for weeks. A lot of fans point to Scott's refusal to go all monster killer as his primary weakness. I don't believe that because, as you'll see in a second, monster werewolves are stupid werewolves, and killers never win in the end on Teen Wolf. While they didn't make the top 10, I should mention a couple of big names. Peter Hale was powerful, no doubt. He was clever, yes, but the stronger he got, the dumber he got. His obsession with revenge and his arrogance cost him the win more than once. Another classic example of this power to intelligence ratio was the Beast. Undoubtedly, he was the strongest werewolf in the Teen Wolf universe, but he relied too much on that overwhelming strength and completely discounted his opponent's intelligence and determination. That is my list of the top 10 most powerful individual characters in Teen Wolf. If y'all liked this one, I'll follow it up with an overall look at which creatures would be the most powerful if we were to discount things like personal failures and lack of experience. In the meantime, please tell me how wrong I am in the comments.